Thank you, Nikki, for that kind introduction. I want to give a special thank to you, Lee McQueen, our compere here tonight. I have to admit, having seen Lee on TV, I was a bit worried I wouldn't match his energy and enthusiasm. So I asked one of my daughters for advice. She told me I would be fine because while Lee became famous for impersonating a dinosaur as an apprentice, I'm a professor and a member of the House of Lords. I thought it was nice of her to be so supportive of her father. But then she said, "So you are a real dinosaur." Despite that crushing blow, I'm excited to be here tonight. I want to thank Nikki and Chris Timio for arranging this wonderful event in this wonderful hall, and all the sponsors for making it a success. I'm truly grateful to the sponsors because I was worried that if the dinner didn't happen, Nikki would send me to her business boot camp. That sounds even more intimidating than The Apprentice. I meet him quite regularly in the Lords, so I can say all that. Actually, the boot camp is quite an example of all things Cotswold's Live does for the local economy, for helping entrepreneurs to backing family businesses. We have been eating locally, sourced food tonight. Tonight shows you don't just celebrate innovation, you do it yourselves. That's the main thing. When I first met Nikki, her belief in Cotswold's manufacturing was impressive. Reading her magazine, I saw why. These awards show just how many manufacturing champions we have in the Cotswolds. And I would never believe it. I thought Cotswold was a place where you could go around in your car, go to a nice restaurant and eat, and that's how it was. We didn't believe we had the right workers and leaders to be successful, so we don't train people properly. However, I must tell you one thing, that in the context, when I see these things, I'm truly amazed. Not just because you're winning awards, but because you're making the case for innovation and engineering every day. You're creating jobs, developing new ideas, giving people opportunities. We debate this every week in the Lords, saying how the hell can we get more employment going? How can we have growth? How can we have productivity? I must tell some of them to come and see what you people are doing. And even more than that, you're making people's lives easier, safer, and more sustainable. Whether it's Dyson making things simpler at home, or the Korean group in Cirencester transforming hip replacement surgery, Cotswold businesses make an impact around the world. I would say that the sky is the limit, except it isn't. The Sentinel-1A satellite is taking a Renishaw space encoder further than that and helping us understand and prevent climate change. I sometimes feel people take achievements like this for granted. There are many things that you do, people take it for granted. And that shouldn't be, because it could easily be different. When I founded Warwick Manufacturing Group in 1980, back then, a lot of people thought British manufacturing and engineering was dying. I had Keith Joseph invite me, and we had dinner one night, and then he said to me, "Will you come and help Mrs. Thatcher in developing her policy, especially in privatization and manufacturing?" And I spent 12 wonderful years with her, because I can tell you this, no matter what people thought of her, as far as her views on manufacturing, she was very, very committed to British manufacturing. Back then, a lot of people thought British manufacturing and engineering was dying. I was often told British engineering could only survive through subsidy or protection, or being preserved like a living fossil by the government. I knew that wasn't true, maybe because I was an outsider. I first came to Britain as an apprentice at Lucas Industries back in the 60s. I had seen firsthand how good manufacturing could be. I knew what held British manufacturing back. It wasn't a lack of talent or innovation or initiative, but a lack of belief. We didn't believe we could compete with Japan or Germany, so we didn't try to change the way we worked. We didn't believe we had the right workers. We didn't believe we had the right managers. And we didn't believe that we did have the right leaders. And therefore we gave up. We started not training people at every level. And I think that was a tremendous, terrible era in the late 60s and the 70s. And we couldn't turn scientific breakthroughs into new products, which Britain has been wonderful at. If you look at your mobile phone, you look at many of the daily things that you use, which are made in Korea, which are made in Japan, which are made in China, the basic heart of those were invented in Britain. British manufacturing and engineering has changed enormously since I started WMG. But the biggest change isn't in computing or in low carbon or in materials. It is that companies like yours have proved you can succeed. I don't pretend things are easy or perfect. Business never is. There's a lot we could do better in Britain. We need more research and development and innovation. We need better access to finance so we can make the most of success. We need better infrastructure and far better skills. It's easy to complain about all that. Actually, it's quite right to demand change. But it's even better to improve things yourselves. That's what we always tended to do at WMG, and I know it is what you do. How do I know? Because we are working alongside some of your companies, and we see how, whether it's an old company or a new company, that you succeed and you succeed fast. Take Pashley Cycles in Stratford, who make the kind of classic bicycles you can imagine. Lady Edith riding through Downton Abbey. It would be only fitting as the real downtown villages in the Cotswolds after all. But while they have a century of craftsmanship to their name, Pashley realized that innovation and research is key to their future growth. Mark Swift, who is my head of and director of small businesses, has worked with Pashley to explore and implement new technologies and processes. They're also developing amazing new bikes that are fast and lightweight. Or take Versarian, nominated in 3 categories tonight. Versarian is taking one of the most advanced materials ever discovered by British science, graphene, and commercializing it. Isn't that amazing? You have somebody in Cotswolds trying to commercialize a British science where it was originally taken over by the Koreans and the Chinese, and they're doing it here now. With their market knowledge and capability, they'll be giving business life to advances in carbon nanotechnology. Just this month, they were granted a US patent for their volume graphene platelet production process, which will help the UK economy profit from UK science. That's exactly the sort of commercial application of academic research I founded WMG to encourage and support. We started with cars and engines. We have huge expertise there because we have worked with companies that have failed, and we are working with companies that have succeeded. Because you can learn a lot from companies that have failed in technology. We have huge expertise there, and I'm proud we are the home of the National Automotive Innovation Center, which is a £150 million private sector investment, the biggest private sector investment in UK in any British university, which will be starting shortly. And like many of you, we have gone beyond even nanotechnology into the digital realm. In an area where the heritage in national security and defense, Cotswold's engineers are making important advances. L3TRL in Tewkesbury is at the cutting edge of electronic warfare with products like Iguana Bit protecting crucial infrastructure from cyber attack. When your market changes as fast as digital security, you have to make skills a top priority. At WMG, we have helped leaders like Andrew Barnes of L3TRL get advanced engineering and management qualifications. That commitment to developing people runs through the company, which helps explain why Sam Howells is a finalist for Apprentice of the Year tonight. There are just 3 companies here that we have seen. At WMG, we are focused on helping small manufacturers capitalize on emerging technologies such as nanocomposites, advanced batteries, 3D printing, and the Internet of Things. We work with literally thousands of companies in UK. And we have now started our center in China, and we are starting our center in India shortly. Our whole purpose is to use our facilities and our academics to help business developing smart factories and the products of the future. We want to support Cotswold businesses, helping you invest in innovation, in science, and in growth, and help local people skills. I remember when I was very, very concerned about completely losing the automotive industry in UK. I was sitting in my lounge with Ratan Tata, who is a very, very old friend of mine, and then I said to him, why don't we go and buy Jaguar? And he said, really? I said, let's go and have a look. So I rang up Ford's and we went and saw their designs. We knew they were making losses, but we have to have a leap of faith sometimes. And I then went to, at that time, to Gordon Brown, I went to the unions, I went to Biz, and I said, look, we want to buy it cash. Why don't you sell it to us? And the argument was quite simple. Oh, we have had many offers from this and from that and from this. Well, of course, as a member of the Lords, I could use my muscle. We decided, and I spoke to the unions and said, will you support us? They said yes, and that was it. And today, their turnover, don't believe it, is £30 billion. They make a profit of more than £3 billion. Their R&D expenditure is more than £3.5 billion. It's the biggest R&D center in UK today. And 6 years ago, they were broke. So we can do it in this country. It's not that me and Tatars run the company. We advise, but it's run by the British. We are taking this year nearly 1,000 apprentices. It's the British people that have done it. They are the people giving the right encouragement, right leadership, they can do it. And we can do it in this country. And that is the reason why the government is using that as a benchmark to show people from all over the world what can happen to Britain. And even the steel company which I bought, which is Chorus, Tata Steel, although there are problems in steel because the Chinese are dumping steel in this country and every other country, we are still surviving and we still have about 40,000 people working. Hopefully, we can do it better. However, when you talk about manufacturing in Cotswolds, nobody believes it. People think there's natural beauty and golden stone. They might even think these days of Jeremy Clarkson and the shipping Camden set. When I was talking to my friends, I said, well, I'm going to go to the Cotswolds to address a manufacturing audience. They said, what? You know, manufacturing audience? Yes. Then I told them what there is here. But you are gradually changing that, and you will keep on surprising people for a while yet. Because around us, an economy is emerging where specialization, craft, and diversity integrates seamlessly into global supply chains and markets, where manufacturing can be clean, sustainable, and connected, where education and quality of life is not just desirable, but essential, where excellence and innovation is the key to success. Here, there are great research universities on the doorstep, on your doorstep, and clusters of advanced industry, from automotive to defense and cybersecurity. Where else can you get that? In a small area, within 20, 30 miles of this place, you have got clusters of great technology and great success stories. And on top of that, you have got interesting, outstanding workers, and whether road, rail, or air, or digital, everything is here. Here you find beauty, heritage, culture, and quality of life. I can't think of many better places to be a manufacturer, an engineer, or an innovator than here. Then there's right here. So it's right that tonight Cotswold Life celebrates your businesses and your growth, because your success is bringing new life to the Cotswolds. And I hope it continues forever. Thank you very much.